The IG Metall is the trade union in the wind energy sector. The branch has established itself in the last years and has created thousands of jobs. In terms of working conditions, though, a lot remains to be done. High rates of subcontracted work and temporary employment, unequal wages for equal work, and a lack of transparency is what puts a strain on many colleagues. For IG Metall, clean energy and decent working conditions go together. We are represented in a lot of companies, are well organized and of course look after our workers' councils and members in the best way possible. But we have to reach out as well to where we are not present, to new sectors, new companies, and have to address new groups of employees. This is where we made use of the organizing method, trying to enlist new active members to motivate people to get involved and make things better together with us. Wind energy is a large new branch where we used to be scarcely represented. Hardly any workers' councils, no collective agreements and poor working conditions. And our organizers have tried, together with the employees, to improve these things in the companies. Organizing is a strategic and systematic mode of development we rely on. In doing so, we always focus on concrete problems at working places, which we identify with the help of numerous direct talks. Together with the employees, we plan step by step how to establish union structures, which will enable them to push their agenda within the company. From 2010 to 2013, IG Metall undertook the first organizing project in the wind energy branch. We used to have the IG Metall here before the organizing project, but it was not such a big issue with us. But now, since the organizing project, you could say everybody's much more aware of it. They talk about it like IG Metall is here and is doing something. And considering that you ask the employees what their goals are and their ideas, not to come and try to impose that on the people, because it's simply important that the colleagues are content afterwards. And this has worked out really well at our place.
Das hat wirklich sehr gut geklappt bei uns.
Direct communication is vital for the organizing process. Through one-to-one talks with the employees, organizers and active colleagues identify issues within the workforce. In order to reach these workers and enlist active colleagues, organizers have relied on concerted visits to bases and conducted many hundreds of talks. Thus, at Vestas, a binding structure of organizing committees and shop stewards could be established. For many years we have tried to go via the employer, have tried to develop and find alternatives through them, which would benefit us. But we realized that this is not the way, we will not succeed like this. And since we failed in achieving it that way, there was only one solution: to get organized, to get together in order to accomplish our demands. An organizing campaign consists of several steps. In the research phase, important information on the company and its economic situation is gathered. Access to the company is established. A major part of the time is spent on organizers and active colleagues building a solid base. The structures which were formed conduct limited internal issue fights. If they are successful, the active colleagues' self-confidence and assertiveness is boosted. Then the main issue is tackled and led into escalation. This phase usually sees the highest increase in new memberships. Finally, there is success. The organizers addressed us directly, called us on the phone at home. That for me was the first experience of, aha, why is the union now starting to look after us? Then very soon we started to talk to each other. Then it became obvious that there are more people thinking along the same lines as me. Starting from this small nucleus, we built structures and went through thick and thin together. Wages vary widely at Repowers. There are many colleagues who receive extremely diverging money for the same work, and this just cannot be. That is what we want to fight against, of course also against agency work, which is an issue getting worse and worse at Repowers. And of course we have to have a collective agreement and have to make sure that we give permanent employment to our apprentices.
Also es geht voran auf
It
jeden
is
Fall.
definitely progressing. We are pressurizing the management, so to speak, and also the board of directors, and one day they will have to approach us.
Dieses gemeinschaftliche Erlebnis, was zu machen.
Yes, this collective experience, a little action in the employees' meeting, distributing leaflets, sticking bills or hanging up posters, doing things together, that simply was
Dieses
decisive.
Entscheidende.
You wouldn't believe how fast colleagues came up with great ideas and how to implement them. Everyone suggested something which could be done. Yes, a great many ideas emerged.
Ja, 3 Schlagworte ist die Kommunikation untereinander.
This network means that you gather information from all sides, also between the companies, because we consist of a couple of companies here at Repowers. So understanding what goes on in Bremerhaven, in Husum, Trampe, Hamburg, this means that we are in a certain position, hold a certain power by means of this information.
Position hat, durch die Information eine gewisse Macht auch hat.
A very important element of an organizing campaign is the so-called issue fight. According to the topics described by the employees, we escalate internal conflicts. They need to be able to collectivize and emotionalize them and must also be visible or concrete and winnable. Since these are burning issues for a majority of the workforce, the employees organize themselves in this conflict in order to change them.
We
have conducted many talks with the workers here at the Bad Energy Company. We got to know that the hardening agent which is used here results in an increase of sicknesses. That is why we have decided to spring into action today and distribute these long-sleeve shirts to our colleagues. They symbolize protection, meaning that this glue, this hardening agent, cannot be applied on the skin. At the focus of the internal dispute within Bad Energy was occupational health and safety. Via publicity within the company, enhanced by stickers, leaflets, t-shirts and direct action at the plant gate, as well as critical news coverage, the active colleagues, together with the IG Metall, succeeded in winning this issue conflict. Recently, we have achieved a very good result in the Workers' Council elections together with IG Metall. We held additional meetings outside the council, the organizing committees, and tried to figure out how to progress from here, what we would like to achieve together with the IG Metall. They listened to our proposals, showed a lot of initiative themselves, meaning they pushed many things forward. They donated ideas to us, which we in return donated back to them, whether it be the election campaign or t-shirts. We have a good cooperation. A 50% rate of agency work, chaotic work processes and poor wages. At Ambaus, a workers' council was more than necessary and was hard-earned against the management's resistance. Provisional injunctions, bans from the premises for union representatives and the sacking of an active colleague. All these measures could not prevent the elections. Solidarity was organized through public protest letters and social networks. The results of the activities was a workers' council with 100% majority for IG Metall. The active colleague who was sacked soon found new employment.
We
had a huge problem with the shift-working system, which had been introduced here at Powerblades and which was disliked by the colleagues. They practically knocked our doors down and demanded that we get into action, which we did. This shift-working system does not exist as it used to, and people saw that with a workers' council you could actually make a difference.
Das ist uns auch sehr gut gelungen.
We managed it really well. Of course, successfully cracking this hard nut has raised interest among the workforce to tackle our struggle for collective agreement, which began almost at the same time. Thus, we utilized the organizers, the IG Metall, to tap the potential which lies hidden within ourselves, to give us self-esteem. This has worked out excellently and it gave us a lot of pleasure.
Das hat hervorragend funktioniert und hat sehr viel Spaß gemacht.
Parallel to the disputes at Powerblades, which is a subsidiary of Repowers, active colleagues in the corporation's different locations tackle their issue conflicts and succeed. For instance, they campaigned for a new canteen, better regulations for on-call duty, a new shift-working system and more transparency. In all locations, tariff commissions are elected and many actions take place. 2 warning strikes ensue.
Wir sind deutlich stärker geworden. Das hat gezeigt, dass man so eine starke
We have gained
Gemeinschaft
considerable strength. This shows that with such a strong community, and I include the agency workers here, that you can achieve this, gathering such large masses as we did to fight side by side for one goal, which for all of us is the collective agreement.
was für uns alle der Tarifvertrag ist.
The employer plays for time, but the employees and the IG Metall hold their ground. A tariff deal is achieved. Finally, all companies of the Repower Trust receive a collective agreement.
Und wir sind jetzt so weit, dass wir
And
auch
we have
ohne
reached a stage where we can look ahead asserted and strong, even without the organizing team.
Ja, ein ganz, ganz
A
wichtiger
very
Punkt ist
important
noch
question is not only how do the colleagues handle the process, but how do they deal with their success, their elected structures and all their activities? Will they in future take all the necessary steps? Do they communicate? And this is where we definitely discovered that no, we do not have to push things from our head office anew every day. The IG Metall remains a support, but it's important that they tackle their issues independently in future, exchanging topics with each other. And this is something that can be fun too.
Und das macht ja dann auch Spaß.
In den 2,5 Jahren ist
In these 2.5 years of organizing, an incredible lot of things has happened. I am really happy that we were able to show the employees at Repower the competence and know-how of the IG Metall.
zeigen konnten.
Und gemeinsam mit den
Together with the
Organisern
organizers, we
haben wir es
managed to
geschafft,
really
die
boost the
Organisationsgrade
grade of
richtig in die
organization.
Höhe zu holen.
During
Wir
the 3 years
haben
they
in
have
den
been
Jahren,
active
in denen
here,
wir
we
Jahren,
have won
in denen wir
over
tätig waren,
400 new
über
members.
400 Mitglieder gewonnen.
Und da wir ja die
And
Vorarbeit
since the preliminary work has been done through organizing at Repower, we have resolved to tackle the entire wind energy sector along the coast. The colleagues obtain training, their force of expression in political and union matters is being invigorated, so that we can build an even broader base here, sustaining what the organizers have achieved. It's about your life, about your work and your working conditions. We contribute our experience, we contribute structure, the facilities of the organization, but at the core we remain a self-help organization, and that means that people in the companies have to take their fate into their own hands and have to organize and work for that.